Hello, beautiful friends and book lovers. I hope that you are all doing well. Today I am coming at you with a book review that is not a thriller, it is not a mystery, it is not a suspense novel, but a very raw, tough, powerful read, and that is My Dark Vanessa, which is written by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I found out about this book. Sorry, my puppy's laying right here and he's looking at me. He's so cute. I found out about this book through Bookstagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it is just at Heather's Book Review. And I love Bookstagram because honestly, this is how I find out about so many books. This, Verity, Long Bright River. Like honestly, the list goes on and on. So I was seeing this everywhere, and there seemed to be a trend where everyone was saying like it's a really good book, but it's a tough one. And I was like, I wonder what everyone means, but I would almost stop myself from reading all of the reviews because I don't like to do that in general. I feel like for me personally, it skews it just skews my opinion on the book if I like know what it is going into it. So I knew the premise of this, but I definitely underestimated what a tough, or how much of a tough read this was going to be. So let's just go ahead and start talking about the premise of My Dark Vanessa. So going into this book, well, you know what? I guess I'll just keep going with the premise and you guys will get the idea. So My Dark Vanessa is about a girl named Vanessa. She's only 15 years old and she really wants to go to boarding school. She's from a super small town and she just feels like there's more to life out there besides her small town. So she begs and makes this cute little presentation and like begs and pleads with her parents to send her to a boarding school, and they agree. So when she packs all of her stuff up, it's just like, just like going to college. Like she takes all of her stuff, she has a roommate, she's at this boarding school, and she's in all of her classes, and she meets her English teacher named Mr. Strain, and he essentially starts to groom her. So if you're new to my channel, I am an elementary school teacher by day, and then obviously booktube and reading is just what, I love to do for fun. But I was telling my husband after I read this book, I'm like, the teacher in me, and just like, aside from just the human in me, okay, the teacher in me was like, just disgusted while I read this book, because essentially, you guys, the book hops from Vanessa's past with Mr. Strain and what her experience at boarding school is like, with the grooming and the abuse that follows, and then how it affects her in her adult life. Sorry, I have my laptop on my lap and I almost dropped it. So yeah, I told my husband, I was like, just reading this, the whole time I'm like, you were her teacher and she was 15 and she trusted you, and oh my God, this is a tough one to review. Like I was telling my husband, like, I don't even know if I can review this. I feel like I'm not going to do the book justice, blah, blah, blah. And then, God, it's just such a raw and powerful book, you guys. And yeah. So there's not much more that I feel I can add to the non-spoiler / premise part of this video, because I feel like I've said as much as I want to, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody or give just like too much away. So I will just go ahead and tell you guys that I'm going to rate the book. I am going to give this a 5 out of 5 on Goodreads. And for my personal rating, this is a 10 out of 10. It's been a minute, I feel, since I've rated a book this high. it's weird saying this, and for anyone that has read this, I hope that you understand what I mean. Like, it's weird to say like this is a good book. It is. I mean, the writing is fantastic. It's poetic, it's beautiful, but part of me feels so awkward saying like good, because the premise of the book is anything but. But putting aside that the tough content, it's a fantastic, it's a really good book. I don't know. I get like this when I'm like really emotional about something, just like where I can't seem to get my words in, or I just need to slow down. The writing is fantastic. I'm pretty sure this is a debut novel, so I will be reading anything else by, thought it was Kate Elizabeth Russell. Absolutely fantastic. Her craft for writing is outstanding. And I will add that I feel like the concept of grooming and the abuse in this book is not something that's written about a lot, at least in the fiction setting. And I can't quite say I'm ever going to read another book like this again. And for all of those reasons are, why I stand by rating this book so high, because it is such a raw and powerful read, but it's a tough one. So go into it knowing that, but I mean, of course I recommend this. Oh gosh. Something else too. I've only cried twice while reading ever in books. And that was The Deathly Hallows, which, I mean, come on. And The Lovely Bones. I always want to say My Lovely Bones. It's not The Lovely Bones, which I read that when I was a teenager. Probably when I was around 16, so like a decade ago. And I only read that one once, and it was obviously tough. This, you guys, I've cried in a book, but I've never bawled in a book. Oh my gosh. I bawled while reading this. I was just, oh man. You just have to read it, and then you're probably going to experience all of this, because you will experience and feel all of the emotions, let me tell you. So now I'm going to go ahead and get into the book chat part of the video. So if you are new to my channel, this is always how I film my reviews. I do a non-spoiler, my ratings, and then I go ahead and film a book chat with spoilers for those of us who have read. So going forward, the video will contain spoilers, and if you're new to my channel, I would love if you could hit that subscribe button and the post notification bell so you are notified every time I post a new book-related video. I think after I've done a lot of reflection on this book, my biggest takeaway, the most powerful part of the book for me, was as a reader how we saw how the abuse from Jacob Strain to Vanessa impacted her life forever. I mean, I think she's like 32 towards the end of the book, and you just see how it affected her. You know what I mean? And all of this, she experienced all of this as a 15-year-old when her brain was not fully developed. And it was so sad for me to see, like, she's going through all of those other normal teenage stages of life, right? Where, she feels like she's not being accepted. She's, struggling with her body image and doesn't think she's as pretty as all the other girls, and, all these issues that, a lot of teenage girls struggle with in general, on top of being groomed by a teacher, and how, she's getting this affection from him and is finally starting to feel like someone loves her. And as I'm reading this, I was just so disappointed by Jacob's character, and my heart just went out to her, because I just wanted to be like, no, this is not okay. This is not what any of this is supposed to be like. And oh man, I mean, that was my biggest takeaway from it, was just my heart went out to her as she was an adult, where she's struggling with alcohol and she's struggling with drugs, and she can't have any healthy, normal relationships, any sustainable relationships, even with friends, you know, she's struggling with keeping any friendships, and obviously the very sad part of still talking to Jacob, still being a part of his life even as an adult. And oh man. So that's pretty much all I have to say on my Dark Vanessa. Like I've already said, it was powerful, it was raw. Those last couple pages, you guys, when, you know, she's talking about her dog, you know, running in the field and having a brain aneurysm. And oh my God, I think those last 20 pages, I was just sobbing. My own dog was like, are you okay? Like, what is going on? And yeah, so just, I'm glad I read it, but holy smokes, you guys were not kidding when you said it was a tough read. All right, you guys, so please comment anything and everything that you'd like. I love chatting with you in the comments. I also love connecting with you on Instagram, which is just at Heather's Book Review. And I will put a link in the description below for my Goodreads if you want to connect on Goodreads as well. So yes, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, you guys.